Good morning and welcome. Happy Hump Day. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. And how you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day out there. Man, I'm excited. We got a great show. I got a great special. Be ready. Get your dialing fingers ready. I'm excited. I'm really excited because I like it when we get cool stuff and stuff we don't get very often. And I also like it when I think like the price is right. You know, the Stone Cold Lead Pipe lock of the week is coming. Couple of things to remember. Go up to 1360 KHNC. Don't forget our blog page. We got some great bloggers out there, a lot of great articles. Check them out. Communicate with them. They love to hear from you. Obviously, our CBD products, which I'm pressing Ryan. We're I promise. I know they haven't happened yet. We are getting new products. My wife has already got her order in. She wants the bath salt. By the way, the bath salt, I'm told, is going to be 4,000 milligrams, which is milliliters, milligrams, whatever. It's powerful. It's the most powerful thing they got. Yes, I got to brag a little bit, though. Yesterday, we were bowling. My wife's a good athlete. Probably where my kids really get it from. She was filling in for our buddy Larry. You guys may know the Silver Fox. So I didn't get to see his face again. Somehow the retinol cream has made the ugly side of his face the good-looking side of his face. But she was filling in. And as I have told you, I've been bowling now pretty much all year. Every Tuesday night. And me and bowling, we have this love-hate relationship. It loves to hate me because I suck at it. And I was like, man, by now I should be getting better. I had it was the best night of bowling of my life. All 3 games. I bowled very well. I beat my wife by 4 pins. She made a huge comeback. She bowled like a 170-something in the last game. I bowled 161 in that game. But I don't beat her very often, but it was a great day. It was a great day. I'm all happy. You can tell I'm in such a good mood today. Anyhow, I just wanted to let you, because I know a lot of you are concerned. We're playing pickleball this week. Listen, I'm going to try to lose a little weight and be in a little bit better shape. CBD is going to help me do that. It can help you. I know it can, and I don't care what it is. If maybe you're on medication that makes your skin feel like you're on pins and needles. Right? The salve and the lotions are great for that. Sore muscles. For me, like, my joints are abused, right? All these years of sports, my knees are worn out and whatnot. It's not going to fix them, but it just makes managing the pain better. If you want to stop taking the Advil or the Aleve, try out our CBD products. 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button. Want to let you know we're going to be adding 2 new podcasts now. So if you go to our podcast section at 1360, we have a CBD podcast. And they're all brief, 5-8 minutes long. One's all about CBD, what it is, what it isn't. Listen, this is not marijuana. I want people to know that. There's no THC in this. There's no drug test failures. There's none of that stuff. And what we deal in, and there's so many differences in CBD, this is the purest of the pure. No chemicals, even the hemp is organic. I mean, these guys, they care about quality. Our pricing is the best of the best. But we've got a tincture podcast. We've got a salve podcast. I think the next 2, are going to be retinol and then our pet products, which we don't talk a lot about. So check those out. That'll give you a lot of good education when it comes to that. And, of course, obviously, it helps the radio station. And then last but not least, we got Bradley Dean coming. Bradley Dean is coming to Colorado at the end of the month. I want to say it's June 28th is the date. Put that on your calendar. We'll get you more details. But Bradley Dean, if you haven't heard Sons of Liberty, I mean, we play him on Monday through Friday. I think he's on from 8 to 9. We also replay him early in the morning. He's got a show on the weekend. Really, especially on the spiritual side of things, Bradley Dean coming to 1360. And then after that, David Knight will be coming. So be ready for that. Got a lot of great things happening. 800-951-0592. Everybody's waiting for tomorrow, right? The big inflation numbers. How bad is it going to be? And I'm going to tell you right now some ominous signs. And again, as I've told you, there's nothing transitory about this. But now things are happening that are making it to be, this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And I'm going to tell you that this time on the wages side, big inflation in China, cost controls coming, and then a gold coin set a new world's record for the most expensive coin ever sold. And I'll tell you, it is a U.S. item. And I'll tell you all about that when we return. It blew away all the estimates. And I'm not surprised. But again, this would be an example of what a real rare coin is. Obviously, unless you're a true collector, I'd stay away from rare. Stick to what we do. We do it better than anybody. Patriot Radio News Hour. Woo! Yeah! We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. The most expensive coin ever sold in the world just happened. Sotheby's did it. Sotheby's, it was a St. Gaudens gold coin. You know, we sell a lot of saints. I promise you, none of you have this coin. This is the 1933 $20 saint. As we know, gold got confiscated in 1933. Roosevelt and the Confiscation Act. Matter of fact, if you'd like to read the act, I've got it up hanging in my office. You can check it out. But he ordered all of the 1933 saints to be destroyed. And under Executive Order 6102. Now, the interesting thing about this, after ordering them to be destroyed, in 1937, so 4 years later, several coins appeared on the market. Of course, the Secret Service got involved. And in 1944, so 11 years after confiscation, it was ruled that the coins had been stolen from the U.S. government and they were illegal to own. Prior to the probe, so prior to 1937, one of the coins got purchased and was granted an export license. Right, you know what happened, right? Someone got paid off. And this coin was exported out of the United States, just one of them. It ended up with King Farouk of Egypt. You know what's so funny is how I remembered, I thought it was a Saudi prince that had it, but apparently it went to the Egyptian king. Sotheby's actually tried to auction the coin in 1954. At that point, the U.S. Treasury Department stepped in and had it withdrawn. The coin's whereabouts went unknown until 1996. So, think about this. All the coins were supposed to be destroyed. 1937, they learn about a few coins that somebody had smuggled out. Secret Service gets involved. bans them all. So they're illegal to own. But yet somehow one gets an export license and ends up with the King of Egypt. 21 years after confiscation, he tries to auction it. The Treasury steps in and forbids it. Nope. Sotheby's takes it down. No one knows what happens to it. Until 1996, when, of course, the Secret Service seizes it during a sting at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. Right? So people were buying it and selling it on the black market. It's a great history of this coin. A legal battle ensued. Took 5 years. And it was decided that this one coin could be privately owned. Now, since that time, and I'll say Israel Swift, who may or may not have been a part of this coin. He was a gold dealer, really. Rare coin guy. And a jeweler. He had someone smuggle out a bunch of these 1933 saints. And after his passing, you know, as the story goes, the kids or the grandkids stumble upon this safety deposit box. And inside of it was and I don't know, I want to say it was 7, I'm not sure the exact number of 1933 saints in there. They had been ruled the property of the United States in a bunch of different cases, including the Supreme Court. On Tuesday, yesterday, the only 1933 double eagle saint allowed to be legally sold in the world sold for 19, what was it? I lost the number. Of course I lost the number. $19.51 million for one $20 St. Gaudens. That's a new all-time record for any coin. I want to say the previous record was a silver coin, I believe. It was a flowing-haired silver dollar. This would have been the silver dollars before the Morgan dollars. They were called flowing hairs. I believe that was the previous record, but $19.51 million. Now, I don't have any saints for $19 million. But I've got 270 saints and 130 liberties. None of the saints are 1933s. None of them. Because they don't exist. Matter of fact, if you want to know you're getting taken to the cleaners, if anyone's trying to sell you a 1933 St. Gaudens, you know it's a fraud. But I have 200 of them, 70 saints, 130 liberties. These are CU quality. Now, this is not a term you hear us use very often in the industry. We know a lot about AUs, right? Almost uncirculated. BUs, right? Brilliant uncirculated, right? And then, of course, we've got the graded coins, right? Mint State 60 through Mint State 70, of course, and the old gold 67's about the max. But CU is what we call choice uncirculated. So this means, hey, this is better than the AU coins, which are almost uncirculated. Here's the thing about the CUs. These are what we would call, hey, they're gradable coins. But they're probably going to be, AU59 or MS60 to 61. That's kind of the range for CU coins. In other words, they're gradable, but they're at the low end. And the cost to get them graded, especially if they don't come back mint state 61, it's not worth it. So these are going to be really, really good looking coins. Right now are what we call our circulated 20s, which is the ones we normally sell. And you guys have bought in thousands of them. They're great looking coins. These are going to be better. Our circulated ones are 2185. Of course, and then you have XF, VF, AU. These CU coins, only $15 higher. So for $2,200, you can get CU Saints, CU Liberties. You can mix and match them. I've got 70 Saints. I've got 130 Liberties. So the Liberties, 1866 to 1907. The Saints, from 07 to gold confiscation, obviously in 1933. I don't think any of these coins are going to be worth $20 million. Now, having said that, if gold goes to, 19 million, they'll probably be worth 20 million. But, you know what I'm saying. But really, really great looking specimens without having to pay graded prices and all of those things. A great value. You don't see these coins very often. You don't see them in quantity. And, of course, for us right now, it's all about price. Being this close to a circulated 20, that's what makes it really a great buy today at 800-951-0592. Now, tomorrow we're going to get this inflation data. And I'm going to be honest with you. Gold's waiting. Wall Street's waiting. You look at every trading day this week, nothing's happened in the market. Because everybody's confused right now. How it's supposed to work. High inflation or hot inflation. And in this case tomorrow, I think, really hot inflation. The central bank is supposed to be raising rates. The dollar is supposed to be gaining strength. Because that's how, remember now, this is how they've educated us. You look at the dollar right now. The dollar's at 90.1. Right? Still trying to stay above and not break below that 89 and change level that we keep. The dollar keeps hitting it. It's going to break soon. It could be tomorrow. But Eric always used to say, a lot of times they say, hey, it's too easy of a trade because tomorrow inflation's going to be hot. I promise you, it's going to be hot. Okay, 4%, 5%, somewhere in that rate, it's going to be a lot. What's supposed to happen, right, is the central bank we already should have started raising rates. We're not going to get that. Matter of fact, I think you'll get a lot of transitory talk tomorrow. The dollar should rally tomorrow. The Treasury note, the 10-year note should rally. Believe it or not, the 10-year note, the yield's down today. Below 1.5%. This is what's got everybody baffled. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Gold could be down $20. Gold could be at a new recent high. It could hit the high of the year tomorrow. I don't know which. Normally, if you would have said this 20 years ago, let's just say I was doing this show 20 years ago, I would say, hey, don't buy today. Gold's probably going to go down tomorrow. because the 10-year note should rise, the dollar should gain strength, the Fed should be talking about raising rates. This number is going to be so hot that the Fed should have been talking about, hey, we may be raising half a point, 3/4 of a point, something like that. You got to remember, there's a Fed meeting. There's always a Fed meeting. There's a Fed meeting in like 10 days. They're not going to be talking about raising rates. The best thing we may get, maybe, is one Fed guy talking about taper. That's about it. So I don't know what, but I hearken to Eric when he always would say to me, Joe, that's too easy of a trade. It's going to do the opposite. And it could very well do that tomorrow. But this is why the markets are so quiet. Gold's pretty much unchanged. Silver's fluctuated between 27.50 and 28. Today's back to almost 28. I'm going to tell you what happened in China overnight, and all of a sudden what companies are doing to try to get employees here in the U.S. Patriot Radio News Hour. Get those CU20s while you can. 800-951-0592. CU. $20 Liberties and Saints. These are choice uncirculated, which simply means these are gradable coins. At the low end, they'd be a high end, almost uncirculated, like an AU 58, 59, or they'll be a mint state 60, 61. That's kind of the range for these coins. So the nice part is you don't have to pay the graded price, and they're not they're not graded. The dealers are saying, hey, prices are so high already. The difference between an AU and a mint state 61 is so small that it's not worth grading them. That's why you don't see these very often. But these are Liberties and Saints. So I have each. Right now, Liberties are outselling the Saints. Shocking to me. Let's tell you, you never know, right? People are really starting to start. The Liberty has been considered the uglier of the two coins, right? Teddy Roosevelt didn't think the side profile of Lady Liberty's face was majestic enough. And the reason why we call the other coin the St. Gaudens is the artist that designed it, Augustus St. Gaudens, actually died right as they were going to be released. And so they named it after him. That's how it got its name. But the Liberties are the old people are starting. Hey, I'd rather have the older one. They're going to do about the same thing. Put it that way. I don't think one will outperform the other. They're going to run together at this level. But the price is what makes it so great. Only $2,200. Think about a circulated Liberty, a circulated Saint today, $21.85. Pay the extra $15, and you're going to be happy that you did. 800-951-0592. Now, here's the part that I think is going to start making everybody nervous, including the central bank. And, of course, I don't think they're going to admit it. Rising prices can't get workers. The problem with paying all of these people all of this money, listen, all these people that weren't working, they got used to making $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 a week on unemployment. They're not coming off the couch unless they get paid. Chipotle now, the latest, just raised prices again. This is like the third time they've raised prices, like in 18 months. The restaurant chain joining Starbucks, McDonald's, and others, increasing hourly pay. Chipotle says they're going to reach an average of $15 an hour by the end of June. And remember, we've been talking about $15 an hour for what, 10 years, 15 years? Remember what we used to say about it. By the time the wage gets to 15, it'll need to be 30. And here's the problem Chipotle is going to find out. 15's not enough. Everything's expensive. And they said that executives are saying that it feels like the right thing at the right time. He says, but the entire industry, something similar, or play some kind of catch-up. Otherwise, you're just going to be losing staffing all over again. And this is the problem. This is what happens. You know, this is how things are transitory. I got to pay you 15 because if you don't, you're going across the street. The guy across the street says, God, if they're paying 15, I've got to pay 16. Big article in the Arizona Republic today. Well, actually, it was yesterday. And it was all about small businesses. It was a barber shop. The guy's got like 8 locations. Says, I can't find any barbers. I can't find any employees. So I'm raising my prices so I can offer more money. And we're starting to see this everywhere, where companies now are just raising prices so they can offer more money. How about this one? The Hustler Club. It's one of those famous strip clubs. Yeah, apparently there's a nationwide shortage of strippers. They're offering $1,000 signing bonuses to get exotic dancers to apply. And I mean, again, think about this. $1,000 bonus here. McDonald's was offering free phones to people just to come and work. Colorado right now, if you've been employed for at least 1 week, you can sign up for a program that if you work for 8 straight weeks, they're just going to give you money. And this is the thing. This is what happens. By the way, the Chipotle CEO said, by the way, we're probably going to raise prices again because if ingredient costs don't stop rising, that's what's going to happen. How about China last night? So we got China's, the Chinese data came out, and I know I got it. Oh, there it is. I knew I could find it in here. It was so hot. And again, this is the other important side of things. Remember how much stuff we import. Matter of fact, we're running like a $70 billion a month trade deficit when you're looking at all the amount of stuff imported into the United States. And now all of these countries, they've got the same problem. China's prices were so hot, the highest since Lehman Brothers went under, which is kind of odd to feel the ripple effects when the Lehman thing happened. They essentially launched price controls last night, saying they're vowing to increase the supply of key consumer goods to try to stabilize prices. Corn, wheat, pork, amongst others. Of course, China pork, big business there. They're saying that, and again, this is the problem. As prices rise, what is China going to do? Well, we're going to have to start paying. What are we going to do? Well, guess what? We're going to have to increase the price of the products that we're exporting. Which means what? The prices here go up. Which means we've got to pay our workers more to be able to afford the products that they want to buy. It's a hell cycle, and we're in it. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back. 800-951-0592. I want to point out something because it's really important. This is the worst number out of China. 1,000,000 ever, with exception of the 1 month right before Lehman Brothers went under. And of course, why is that important? Because the prices crashed the very next month. Right? So, and this happened everywhere. The Lehman thing, when we say it's the worst number since 2008, I want you to know this. 2008 was like a 1 month anomaly. And then it went, wham, below the low, right? It went the other way. Right? It was essentially, let's run up the price, and then everyone could cover their logs, and then everyone got short, and it crashed. Because, we went into that huge recession. This is not that. China's PPI last night came in at 9%. The record is 10. And so just missed the record. But here's the problem. This isn't going away. This has been building. This wasn't a spike and then a collapse like Lehman was. You're going to hear a lot of this over the next couple of months. Highest since '08, highest since '08, highest since '08. Don't be fooled by that. This is the highest numbers, really, honestly, going back to the 70s. We haven't seen this type of inflation since then. And just like then, another guy who thought inflation was transitory was a guy named Arthur Burns. Nobody ever talks about this guy because he was a terrible Federal Reserve president. He didn't act, which led to, and then, right, we had inflation. And then you had the oil embargo, and then the Iranian hostage, right? Stuff that happens in the world. What do we got right now? Right? Well, we got Iranian sanctions. Oil, I told you yesterday. What did I say about oil yesterday? Did I tell you it was going to be over $70? Yep, guess what? Over $70. We've got massive droughts. We've got this. We've got a semi-chip shortage. We got ships getting stuck in canals, and we got forest fires and hot weather that just makes everything worse. How about, and this one is nuts, cars. Wow. The new cars are tough. We know that, right? They're all selling sticker plus. And if it's a model people actually want, it's like sticker plus 10 grand. Used vehicle prices sold at auction. Okay? So this isn't your price, right? These are car dealers, prices. Spiked another 4.6 in May. Used vehicle prices are up 26% year to date. They're up 45% from May of 2019. So think about this. In 2 years, used vehicle prices are up like 50%. That means a $20,000 used car is now a $30,000 used car. And add that to the list. There's a reason why all of a sudden now, and it just doesn't stop. The flood of businesses all saying the same thing. They're either raising prices so they can hire people, or they're raising prices to keep what they've got. Right now, the number one thing that's happening with companies hiring, besides not enough people applying, is they've offered somebody a job. The job has been accepted. Only for the employee that is now going to get hired, calling them back saying, hey, the company I was working for, they're paying me more money. No thanks. You can keep the job. Right? And still, of course, right, we still got 15 million people on the couch. Yeah, where does it go? What do we have to, Chipotle is $15 an hour. That's not enough. It's not enough. Free iPhones, not enough. $1,000 signing bonus, not enough. Look at every commodity out there from copper to crude oil to steel to, how about, we don't even talk about like palladium and all these other things through the roof. Now China's trying to institute price controls. Trying to, it doesn't help the Chinese-owned companies, 9% inflation. And now all we're hearing is the highest since '08, the highest since '08, the highest since '08. But that's an anomaly. '08 was just a spike up because of Lehman, and then bam! Way back down and then some. There's no spike down this time around. And now that wages are rising with the commodity prices, it makes this transitory story look less and less likely. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. Everybody's waiting for tomorrow. And they're not waiting for the number. The number's almost irrelevant tomorrow. It's going to be a much hotter number than 2%, which is what they said they wanted. I think the key is going to be all the comments around it. And I think the biggest thing we're going to see is a Federal Reserve that will not be talking about raising rates. And not even having a discussion about it. And that's the part that should scare you all the most. We've seen this before. They've done this before. It was like I did yesterday. Remember all the comments I was reading from 2007? Remember, Janet Yellen was the number 2 back then. Jay Powell was one of the Fed Reserve governors. Now he's the head, and Janet Yellen's at the Treasury. We don't see the signs. We're looking for them. I'll give you a sign. I'll give you a bunch of signs. We're going to see the hottest inflation number outside of that meaningless spike in 2008 that we've seen in decades. And we'll have a Federal Reserve that's going to do nothing about it. That's why you want to take advantage. Get that gold put away today. We've got the choice uncirculated, or what we call CU $20 Liberties and Saints. Again, these are gradable coins, every one of them. Between an AU 58 to an MS 61. That's kind of the range for CU coins. And instead of having them graded, because the price difference between an AU 58 and an MS 61 is so small, it's not worth the cost. Like everything else, getting a coin graded. You used to be able to get a coin graded for like $5. Now I think it's like $20. Not worth it. We've got them on deal today for $2,200 at 800-951-0592. That's only $15 above a circulated 20 that we normally carry. Here's the great part. I actually got a bunch of them. This is the most 20s I've had in like a week and a half. Remember, I've been telling you the 20s have just moved crazy. Can't get them. It's because the big money's buying them all. Even though 10s are cheaper, they don't care. That's twice as much space. Just give me the 20s. CU Saints and Libs. You can mix, you can match them, however you want to do it. $2,200 at 800-951-0592. Place your orders today. Brittany and Arlene will help you. If you got questions, I'll answer them. They do great jobs. All you new people, just tell them you want the special. God bless everybody. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about this inflation number for sure. Take care, everybody.